Well, listening to that is the Conservative MP for Sutton Coldfield in the West Midlands, Andrew Mitchell. His constituency the automotive industry is hugely important to it. It has manufacturers such as Dennis Eagle, GK and Driveline, Jaguar and Land Rover, who employ thousands. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can we pick up on that point just at the end there with Mike Hawes, who was talking about the contribution? In fact, we were looking this morning, the automotive industry worth 18 billion to the economy, fishing worth 1.4 billion, and yet fishing seems to be the sticking point in the trade negotiations.
Well, they're both important, but the scale of difference is precisely as you have said, 82 billion to a very small figure indeed. I'm not in any way wishing to minimize the importance of doing a deal on fishing, but I think what your previous contributor has said makes it very clear that this is a vital industry to Britain. It's of enormous importance across the West Midlands, of great importance to many who have very high quality jobs in my constituency. And Andy Street, our West Midlands mayor, and I went to see the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rishi Sunak, specifically to make the point about the importance of continuous supply, the importance of getting a deal, which was in the interests of the car industry and its future. So I'm in no doubt that this is of critical importance. I do believe that there will be a deal, and I very much hope that the deal will recognise the importance of this industry.
Well, indeed, that's exactly the point. It doesn't matter if there's a deal or not. It's whether the deal is going to factor the rules of origin, adapt them to suit British car makers. If it doesn't, what is your understanding of what it will mean in terms of the numbers of job losses or value damage to the industry?
Well, it's precisely as described just now. It would have a very significant effect on the location of future plant, and it would have a significant effect upon employment. But the fact that Lord Frost has raised this point now indicates that it's at the heart of the negotiations. And as I say, I do think we're moving towards a deal, and I do think the importance of this critical industry for Britain, and especially the West Midlands, is recognised.
OK, but it doesn't... are the government, given what we know about fishing, are there priorities? And we've been hearing that they're holding out on fishing as well as, of course, state aid, seen to be the stumbling blocks. This hasn't been suggested as a stumbling block. It appears Lord Frost is just admitting he can't get the EU to change their mind. Is it enough of a priority, do you think?
Oh, I'm quite certain that it is. In our discussions that Andy and I had with Rishi Sunak, there's no doubt that the government understands how very important this industry is. And while media attention has focused rightly on fishing, which is also important, and state aids, there's no question that in terms of Britain's economic health, the automotive industry is of an importance of a very high order indeed.
So what, would it be enough to stop a trade deal being done?
Well, I think trade deals have a lot of different moving parts, but I'm sure that this is one of the critically important moving parts.
And should be, enough to stop the deal being done?
Well, I very much hope that common sense will prevail. We want to see the next generation of motor cars designed and built in Britain. Britain's contribution in terms of exports would be immense, and the experience to design and build this next generation of cars exists particularly in the West Midlands, but elsewhere in Britain. This is an industry which has been transformed in the last 20 years, and where Britain, has a really strong potential export way of earning its living as a result.
Andrew Mitchell, thank you.